good morning, Miramar, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Tamara G. As we all know, it is right here in Miramar, but we love our neighbors to the south of us, and I'm talking about the City of Miami Gardens. And with us right here in Miramar is the City of Miami Gardens, Tamara LaBruce. She is the Program Director for Live Healthy Miami Gardens in the City of Miami Gardens. And also with us, State Representative Felicia Robinson, also a former councilwoman for the City of Miami Gardens. And I'm just laughing because, three Deltas walk into a room and this is what happens. So we make things happen. I'm so happy to have you all. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
No problem. So Tamara, let's start with you because, I love that name too. Let's talk a little bit about what you do for Live Healthy Miami Gardens, because this is truly something that the city aspires to do for every resident. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, thank you so much, Tamara. And it's so nice to be here with you. It's been a while, so it's great to see you and great to talk with you. Again, my name is Tamara LaBruce, and I work for the City of Miami Gardens, and I am the Program Director for Live Healthy Miami Gardens. Live Healthy Miami Gardens is a community initiative. It's meant to make the City of Miami Gardens a healthier place to live, work, and play. The City of Miami Gardens, way back in 2014, started the initiative as a 6-year initiative with funding from the Health Foundation of South Florida. And the idea was to develop a community-based and sustainable health and wellness initiative to improve the living conditions in Miami Gardens. Obviously, we are past the 6-year time frame, and that's because we very early on decided that we needed to focus on health and wellness for the long term, and we did our best to develop this initiative in a very sustainable way. So this initiative is here to stay, and we are still focusing on health and wellness, and it is a permanent part of the city's efforts to reduce poor health outcomes by engaging community residents and improving selected public health indicators.
Awesome. Now, I know one thing. I remember when Mayor Oliver Gilbert was mayor, he had the run that he was doing and the weekly walk thing that he was doing, and people were joining him, which was great because, of course, they could talk to their elected official, but they also were getting in exercise. He was making them earn it while they were talking to him. But that's just one of the many initiatives that you guys were doing. Tell us a little bit about a few others.
Correct. We focus on primarily 5 health impact areas. These 5 areas were prioritized by our residents, by our 113,000 residents. We took about 18 months in the very beginning to embark on a comprehensive data gathering and analysis process with our residents, and they are the ones who really took the leadership to determine what Live Healthy Miami Gardens would do and where we would focus our energies. So we focus on alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs, physical activity, healthy eating and nutrition, mental health, and primary health care. So the example that you use, which many people are very familiar with, is just one example of our physical activity work, where we did work with Mayor Oliver Gilbert, and now we're working obviously with Mayor Harris to offer a number of different opportunities for our community to engage in physical activity as a way of maintaining their health. Right now we have about 43 different initiatives that we're working with. And our initiative is made up of community partners, not just our residents. So we have about 66 different organizations. We're currently funded by the CDC. And we're working with these different organizations to implement strategies that were put forth by our residents in a community action plan that was developed, with their input. So that example is just one of the things that we do, but we have a number of different strategies moving simultaneously. Some are programmatic, but some are also focused on policy, systems, and environmental change strategies as well.
That's amazing. So we're going to talk about one of those initiatives coming up, but I wanted to bring in State Representative Felicia Robinson, who was on the council when this originally started back in 2014. And why was this so important, State Representative Robinson, for the City of Miami Gardens to undertake?
Well, for me, it was really about, we said that we're a community, and my part of getting on the council, because that's where I grew up, was really to make sure we built a good community that was solid and we began to progress. Well, we were doing a lot of that, and we still are doing a lot of that, but it became very important. If we're going to grow this city, it was really important to me and my colleagues that we make sure that our community is healthy and they're around to actually see it. My grandparents was there. And, when my grandmother got old, she would be very proud to see what has happened to the city. And I just want to make sure that all of our residents are able to be around for a long time and truly be able to enjoy it, not be there and be sick. And so it became this program, when she talks about it, it's about physical activity, but it's also about health and nutrition. I remember she mentioned we had cooking classes. It's about really taking your loved one to the doctor. And that's actually the initiative that we're talking about today, because October is Take Your Loved One to the Doctor Day. I can tell you a personal experience. My older brother, we're 5 years apart, wasn't going to the doctor. And I would say probably about 3 or 4 years ago, probably about more 5 years ago now, we had this initiative going on, and I took a part in it. I made it very personal, and I kept bugging him and nudging him about going to the doctor. Mm-hmm. Today, I am proud to say that he goes to the doctor regularly. Actually, probably about 2 weeks ago, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm off today because I got a doctor's appointment." And I said, "What's wrong?" He was like, "Nothing. I'm just my regular checkup." And I was like, "Okay, proud.
That's a success story of how, if you just start it, people will continue it. But why was he not going to the doctor? I always wonder why people don't go and check on their health.
Because he said he wasn't sick. He felt good. You know what I'm saying? He's older than me, so he's in his mid-50s. Mm-hmm. And he works for the railroad. He go to work every day. He really didn't have he felt like, I'm good. I go out there, he a coach at the park, so he'd be with the young people and he's getting along. And so he felt like he was good. But I just, I know that people, sometimes they feel really good and they're not here the next day. And so I was really happy. And we had this conversation the other day when he said he was going to doctor, because by him starting to go to the doctor, and we're coming off of this pandemic, he did end up having COVID, but he wasn't affected. For whatever reason, he didn't have any of the major effects. Mm-hmm. And, it may simply be because he was going to the doctor and he was taking care of all of those things.
Proactive about it.
When he first went, they thought he had pre-hypertension. Mm-hmm. He started walking. On the trail. Mm-hmm. Now I don't have no problems. He wasn't one that had to get on medication, but if he hadn't, that was 5 years ago. Who knows? That pre-hypertension may have developed into something else. So, it's just, and what I find too, a lot of people don't go to the doctor because one, they don't feel sick, and it's not something that we talk about. And so this campaign, Take Your Loved One to the Doctor, gives you the opportunity to have that conversation with your loved one. Mm-hmm. We talk about a lot of times, and I'm bringing this on about the pandemic, a lot of us not getting the vaccine. Well, one of the reasons a lot of people not getting the vaccine is they don't have a primary care doctor. So they don't have a relationship with a medical professional. And so it makes it a little bit more challenging for them to say, hey, I'm going to just go here and let this person give me something. And, I don't know them. Right. So that's another reason it's important for us to go to the doctor regularly so that you can have a relationship. So when a problem do come up, you can be already have that relationship and that feel. One of the things that I want to actually do while I'm here at the state legislature is to come up with more legislation and more policies that focuses on prevention rather than reaction. Right now, across the United States, when it comes to healthcare, we're always reacting to the problem. Well, this particular campaign that we have, Take Our Loved One to the Doctor, is somewhat of a preventive measure. It allows you to get people to go to the doctor before they're actually sick. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's prevention. when we talk about cancers, we know that right now, because there's not a cure, the key is early detection and prevention. Again, if people are not going to the doctor, they're not going to have that opportunity to get things detected early or do something that's preventative. So this is very important.
I love it. If you are just tuning in, first of all, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Tamara G. And with me, we have State Representative Felicia Robinson. She is a former councilwoman for the City of Miami Gardens. We also have with us Tamara LaBruce. She is the program director for Live Healthy Miami Gardens in the City of Miami Gardens. And we're talking about Take Your Loved One to the Doctor Day. As State Representative Robinson mentioned, October is a lot of things. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We both have on our pink here. It's Domestic Violence Month. It's also Take Our Loved Ones to the Doctor Day. And coming up this Thursday, Tamara, there's actually going to be a program that you all are doing. It's a virtual program, so pretty much anyone can join. I hope anyone can join, including your neighbors up here to the north in Miramar.
So absolutely. I just wanted to say a couple of things, if you don't mind, Tamara. One, I wanted to just acknowledge State Representative Felicia Robinson. I think you can hear in her voice and her message how passionate she is about health and wellness, and she's really been such a true champion for this work. Obviously, when she was at the City of Miami Gardens and now as a state representative, she is just one of those people that we can always rely on to get that message out there. In regards to Take Your Loved One to the Doctor, she mentioned so many good pieces of information in terms of why people don't go to the doctor. And I think a lot of it is really that if you're feeling okay and you're relatively healthy, you don't think you need to go to the doctor. But there's also other reasons. Sometimes people don't go to the doctor because they're not insured or they don't have, the monies to pay for services. Sometimes they're afraid, if they're not necessarily feeling well or if their bodies are giving them symptoms, they're afraid that they're going to get bad news. There's all kinds of psychological, emotional, logistical reasons as to why people don't go to the doctor. But the idea with this campaign is to really push that message and to say to our community, you have got to go to the doctor because you don't know what's going on, and prevention is the best medicine, and you have to know what's going on with your body. And going to the doctor is really for going to the doctor for a primary healthcare visit is kind of like the gateway to good health. It gives you access to see a doctor. You can get your screenings. You can know your numbers. You can know if, for example, you are, you have prediabetes or you have, high blood pressure issues. But all of those screenings and the conversations that you have with your doctor is so critical and so important to your overall good health. So our Take the Loved One to the Doctor campaign is modeled after the national campaign, and it's really our way of localizing that message and providing the resources for our community. So we work with a number of different partners, including Jesse Trice Community Health Systems, UHI Health Clinic, and Center for Family and Child Enrichment, and they're all available to provide these free screenings. So Thursday is part of that. We have a full month of different screenings and educational opportunities. And so the symposium, the summit on Thursday will focus on why it's important to go to the doctor and provide those critically needed resources so that our community will have the access that they need. So if you don't have insurance, you don't have the monies to pay, that those things are no longer barriers, because there are services in our communities that are either free, completely free, or offered on a very low sliding scale. So there's no reason not to go to the doctor.
That's amazing. And I'm glad you said that, Tamara, because I'm sure many of the people who have been sick, whether it's with COVID or with anything else, will tell you that your health, even if it's a sliding fee of $20 or $50, your health there's no money you can put on the price of your health and just knowing what is going on with your body. So please don't let money be an issue as to why you don't see a doctor. Tamara just said they have different partners that they work with that will give you free screenings, that will give you low-cost screenings, but please don't let that be a hindrance, because you really need to know what's going on so that you can work on it, because everything is workable. As State Rep Felicia Robinson mentioned about her brother, once he found out he was pre-hypertension, he started walking, and which means he lost weight, which means he didn't have to get on high blood pressure medicine, which means it didn't mess up his kidneys or his liver. And it's just a great thing to know what's going on with your body. That's all we're saying. So how can people get more information and register for this summit that is going to be taking place at 6 p.m. on Thursday that I'm actually going to be hosting? So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, so you can visit Live Healthy Miami Gardens website, specifically lhmgsummit.eventbrite.com. And everything that you need on the summit is right there, and you can register. It's a free event as well, so there's no cost, and we really are looking forward to having the discussion. There's a component of the summit that is featuring millennials and Generation Z, because we really want to make this relevant to the younger population of our city as well. And so we have a very exciting and dynamic panelists that will be focused on talking about health and wellness from a younger perspective as well. And so we're really excited about it. It should make for a very great evening.
Right. And I'm sure that's going to be very important as well, because, young people today are not as active as we were when we were younger. They are in front of computers and phones and doing other things, playing games all day. So they're not outside getting the fresh air and running around and things like that. And I'm not even going to get into the food, of what they eat, right? Because everything is fast food, and that's convenience factor. Or I'm sure that you deal with this before as well, Tamara. It's what people can afford. They can't afford, to eat as healthy as they would like. So
yes, absolutely. And that's just part of, absolutely. And that's part of our work as well. I think the representative mentioned our food demos, but we do a number of different projects that are focused on making healthier food the right option and the accessible and affordable option for our community. One of our projects, for example, is working with our local convenience stores, and we worked with our city council to pass a set of policies that we're going to be implementing with our convenience stores, making our convenience stores healthier, making a shift in terms of the products that they carry in these stores and how those products are promoted and advertised in our community. So we're really about making healthier food accessible and making it affordable, because we do realize that sometimes it's a matter of choice. You may choose not to eat healthy all the time, but you should not be eating healthy because you don't have access to healthy food, and you should not be eating healthy because you can't afford healthy food. So our belief is that healthy food should be made available to our entire community. So we have a number of different initiatives that is helping to make that possible.
Sounds good. And I wanted to ask you before we go, State Representative Robinson. So obviously, everything comes down from the top to the bottom. So you're working at the state level on many aspects for items to come back to the City of Miami Gardens. You want to tell us a little bit about some of the things that you're working on?
Well, as I mentioned, when it comes to health, I do sit on the Health and Human Services Committee, and I want to actually push some legislation that will actually look at what we're doing in Miami Gardens and help communities across the state of Florida. So that's going to be coming down the pipeline soon. Not right now, it might not happen this session, but I'm doing that research and working towards that. This session, when it comes to health, I'm actually looking at something that's going to deal with sickle cell. Right now, the standards when a sickle cell patient goes to the emergency room can vary. So we're looking at legislation that will standardize that across the state of Florida, so that our patients, when they go in and they're recognized as a patient that has sickle cell, those procedures will be the same across the board, so that they can actually receive the help that they need and is not prolonged or put off. So right. That's something that I'm working on there when it comes to healthcare. I have some other things, they're not necessarily healthcare related, but what I do want to say about this particular thing is that Live Healthy Miami Gardens is giving a lot of free information, and we know everyone tends to like free. So I keep on saying
free is for me. Free is for me. Yep.
And so I hope that on Thursday and throughout the month and throughout the year that they continue to receive this free information. I'm an educator also. And one of the things I always say, people, you do better when you know better. Take advantage of the information and the knowledge that is being shared with you, especially when it's being shared for free, because people pay a lot of money for these things. And when it comes to going to the doctor, as was stated, we have community health care centers that you can actually get some services for free. And so don't let it pass you by. Encourage a loved one to go to the doctor. If need be, take them and just share it. Even share it on your social media. We talked about the millennials. Health is for everybody. And, you know, I know as you get older, sometimes you get aches and pain, but you appreciate those because if you're not getting older, then you're dead.
Yeah, there's a problem.
So, for our young people, I say, you know, I share my age all the time. People don't believe it. I'm like, I'm 50 and I'm happy, you know, and they was like, nah, I'm like, yeah. But I share it because I know that there's a lot of people that didn't make it to this age. And so I would hope that our young people, they want to get to this age. And for those of us that are in our midlife, that we continue to move on. Because I want to live forever, as long as I can get around.
Same here. We're all in the same boat on that one. So this coming Thursday, October 14th, 6 p.m., lhmgsummit.eventbrite.com, or you can always go to the Live Healthy Miami Gardens website, and the information will be right there. You could register right online there, or again, go to lhmgsummit.eventbrite.com. I'll be hosting that this Thursday. I'm looking forward to it and talking with the doctors and getting more information. Thank you so very much, State Representative Felicia Robinson. She's also a former councilwoman for the City of Miami Gardens, and also Tamara LaBruce. She is the program director for Live Healthy Miami Gardens in the City of Miami Gardens. Thank you so much, ladies, for being with me today. And, you know, as we always say, Deltas get it done. So,
you want something done, give it to a Delta.
That's right. And thank you for watching Good Morning Miramar. Until next time, I'm Tamara G. See ya.
Thank you, Tamara.
Bye.